Good day, everybody. Oh, the Dan sits down. I'm your host. Dan. It's another beautiful, great day today, like yesterday. The way a November day in Florida should be. About 55, 60 degrees. Perfect in the sun. Maybe a little cold. You want to go come from up north and then go swimming in the beach, but you stay in the sun. You can take your clothes off, and it's just beautiful. I mean, just fantastic. So maybe whatever we're doing is working, huh? Remember, check your instrumentation. Check your instrumentation. Oh, no, shit. So, yesterday I left off talking about, this is cell tower. For all we know, might as well be in the palm tree. You get a 5G all around, but I had to go to the cell tower to upload the other day. So, basically, each one of us are basically authorized to have things or not authorized to have things. If you are not authorized to have an object, it will get taken from you somehow, or it'll break. So, if you're not authorized for 5G in one location, and you could be saying to someone like, oh, they just got a different phone, so what, like, antenna technology is like that different from his phone from mine? I mean, I got the latest blue phone, he's got the latest red phone. Okay, well, that's great. Some reason his works and mine doesn't. Same service provider. Maybe he's authorized to use the MIMO device that's built in somewhere else. Okay, just saying. But yeah, I do drive a couple miles to get right under the cell tower because he's the bandwidth is massive. You're talking about like 10 gigs a show. Yeah, if that gives you clues as to like what paradigm, and my apparel too will also give you clues as to what time paradigm we've subscribed to here in this time zone. This is Tampa Bay, Florida, sometime in November, as far as year 2022. Joe Biden's our president. There are 4 quarters and $1. They should ask you these questions. It's funny when you ask the cops those questions. That's the first thing I do, man. I interact with a cop. He comes at me, man. I ask him, man. I said, "What year is it, man? What year do you think it is?" I'll show you what I do when he asks for my ID. Just hand him your fucking cell phone, man. Like, dude, tap it. And then look at him like he's got 2 heads. When he's like, "Well, what do you mean?" Like, what fucking year do you think it is, man? Give my phone back. Like, what? What are you, anyway? I'm a cop. What? I'm a cop. What? I'm a cop. I'm a cop. I'm a cop. I'm a cop. Then you drive away. Okay. Seen it happen before. What the fuck was that? That's hypno shit, man. Good. I don't like using it. I don't like telling people about it, but it's real and we gotta fight back somehow. I don't know what to do about it. Alright? But what I do know is, like, it's time we got to reject our own divisions, and we got to create a new society around, what we believe in. I believe we're under attack. I mean, you can't really follow me with a drone or see me from orbit if I'm under a tree, and the tree canopy extends every square foot of the world. I'll just have them cut it down and, make them think they're in this class of society, and then these guys are living in palaces made out of these trees. No bueno, guys. No bueno. Alright? So, and then burning the oil, like, as far as, like, I mean, they want our carbon. Alright? They want carbon. It's much easier to pull the carbon out of the air if we set it on fire in the form of CO2. Then they just be up there sucking up the CO2, and then they get oxygen as well when they pick the molecule apart. I mean, the plants do it for free for us. Like, you see this big giant thing behind me? That's that's high tech. That tree, we're supposed to just see a tree. Well, the leaves fall in the winter, or the fall, change colors. They fall before the winter starts. We see the change in the season of the trees. The trees know what's up. Like, well, that's like the most advanced thing that, like, I mean, aside from shit, like a microprocessor that has a little filament crystal that vibrates a specific frequency. So that's where your computer clock and all your computers are basically that's the tech. Um, this thing behind me literally takes photons that travel at the speed of light, and they have what's called wave particle duality. It's also a particle. They smash into things, mostly like electrons in the orbitals of our molecules, excite it, and then the electron comes down in orbit and emits a photon. And this thing behind us on a mass scale takes our carbon out of the air, the CO2, carbon dioxide, and it gives us back oxygen. It breathes what we breathe out, and we breathe in what it breathes out. I mean, it don't get no better than that. And we're cutting them all down. People wage war against yourself, man. Like, and you like come to the conclusion that like you have to cut it down because you need a home. Man, we got way too much going on. We are doing way too much here. We're doing way too much. Okay, like the whole world used to look like this place. But let me. Come on, man. The orange trees, apple trees, mango trees, grapefruit trees, banana trees, fruit, vegetables, oats, okay? It's good for you. Try not to enslave another species and get their, like, the milk. Try not to eat meat, but sometimes I do. Like, there'll be another show about the food. I'll stick to, like, we have, like, ancient technology. That is ancient technology. It's for our purposes and for our understanding of the world, based on our current education level as a society, as a whole, guys, with respect to everybody, okay, as a whole, that's ancient technology, and it's highly advanced. And, we have people that were able to figure it out. Okay, we studied the hell out of that thing behind us till we figured it out. Like, how does this work? How does this work? And we can tell you how a photon hits an electron on a little, like, plate inside of this, chlorophyll molecule that's in the leaves. And it basically fixes a phosphorus atom to a molecule called adenine diphosphate to make it ATP, adenine triphosphate, which all you probably know what ATP is. I mean, I would hope. If you're an American, damn it, and you're in this country and you've got past like 8th grade biology, like they better be teaching you what ATP is. It's the freaking basis of all energy, production and movement, like mitochondria. That's it. That's what they do. All right. So this thing behind me, it takes a photon molecule and fixes a phosphorus atom to another more complicated molecule, and then later on down the road, it takes the ATP to create glucose, which it fixes. It orientates carbon, hydrogen, oxygen into a glucose molecule. Sugar. Okay, sugar. And that's highly advanced. For our purposes and our understanding of the world, like, that might as well be magic, okay? For most people, it took us a long time. We had a long time to draw those conclusions about our world and figure it out. Like us today, we stand on the shoulders of giants. And that knowledge was, like, painstakingly earned. And that's why I take a look around the world today, and I'm like, well, you ain't got no right. Like, if you ain't gonna study this shit and learn this shit, and like you have to know this stuff, or otherwise, then you're either gonna be fully responsible, or you're gonna be anti-consumption, live in a tree. Okay, so there ain't no in between no more. All right, so. Like, you want to be a monkey man? That's cool. I want to be a monkey man. Like, I'm pissed off about the world. Like, why do I gotta have a fucking car? Like, I should be able to, like, roll around the dirt and climb trees, have sex, and eat mangoes and grapefruits. Take some wood. Maybe make a little barrel, clay pot, and brew up some mead. Like some port mead. Eat some gruel. Hey, oats, wheat, make some bread. Okay? I can't do that. Because there ain't nothing left for me to do that with. Like, it used to be, hey, man, you just have any free land, and you work the land, and boom. Like, you didn't have to have all this stuff. Now it's like, you got to go get a degree for $250,000 to make 50 a year. You know, like, it becomes a big joke. And then you go buy, like, some overinflated house that costs you $250,000 because, like, some financial derivative owns a house next to you, and the one down the street, and the one next to that, and so on and so forth, man. Like they got these algorithms and computers, like just software. The second you list that home on the MLS, man, boom. Call Wall Street, whatever you want. The algorithm buys it up and then chops it up, parcelizes it, like those, like they're doing with the artwork now, the digital artwork, the NFTs, or somebody probably way more educated about me, but it's parcelized. So they digitally parcelized the Mona Lisa, and then put in a blockchain, and now you can own a piece of the Mona Lisa, the digital blockchain version of it. Some guy took a picture of it and said, let's cut this up into 1,000,000 pieces and then sell it. I mean, come on, man. Now, if it's original artwork and it's only online, then there you go, that's cool. But like, man, you're taking real shit and taking a picture and yeah, man, or someone will create a whole world. You know, like I've seen artists that make, I mean, just straight, like, man, they'll make it on let's say a psychedelic. So you're staring at like an ancient Persian rug, right? Okay, and you take the shrooms and you sit on that rug and you are in a 3-dimensional world, and suddenly you're in a classroom. Yeah, what do you think that is, man? Come on, you're in a classroom, you're sitting on that rug. That's why they're so expensive. Like, that shit's there, man. It's a 3-dimensional, that's a highly advanced interface. It's a highly advanced virtual world in which we can interface with it by utilizing our pharmacology, okay, and what we know about nature. And that's perfectly okay. There's nothing wrong with that. And in fact, if you think something's wrong with that, most of the world, most of the advanced world, actually the unadvanced world too, man, they disagree. They all sit around spitting in a bucket. They're like fermenting the shrooms up more, you know, or ayahuasca, I mean, come on. Like, you take that stuff, sit down on one of them carpets, man. Yeah, you're going for a magic ride, right? Like Aladdin. No, you're going to go into a virtual classroom, okay? And I've seen other artists, they'll have like holographs on the wall, and you'll get lost in it. And it ain't, oh, you're just tripping balls. Blah, 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 blah. No, man, you're in another, you're interfacing with an advanced technology that we've lost somehow along the way. Like, we have to learn all this shit analogously because somebody took it all away from us, all right? And then they took all the important things and they put it all over the world and said, no, you got to have supply chain. You got to waste this resource to get that thing if you want it now. So it's like, well, hold on a second. Now we've kind of like came back. Like, we came back and now we're under attack again, okay? Like, so Americans, like in our country, man, we man, our forefathers, like I said, we stand on the shoulders of giants. These guys had it right. And they're trying to show, and the second they cross that line and start going into the ancient technology, because that tree is ancient technology, right? You want to believe the whole evolution? I believe it was created. I mean, and I believe it adapts. So yeah, maybe that's true. You got your iPhone 15 or whatever the friggin', you know, like that's like Tree 2000. You know, like what? Okay. Tree 2000, Shroom 5000, whatever. So, and they made these things hard to get. And they said, hey, man, you want to eat this shit? Guess what? You're going to have to go to the jungle where there's, and then they put in these fucking bugs that are like, you know, 3-inch mosquitoes, or, you know, like, so a freaking thing of a wasp with like a stinger on it, you know. I'll get to those too. I really want to talk about nature, because we talk about it as nature, but I just see advanced technology. Like, I sit here and look at a wasp, and I was like, damn, man, that thing's perfect. Like, somebody designed that thing really fucking well. You know, like it navigates 3-dimensional space like it's nothing, and it's got little to no neurons. Like, how is it processing? Like, it's that good at it, or is it just tapped into the cloud and something else is controlling it? You know, there's a signal it's tapped into. Like, I talked about the other day where you feed the birds, you feed a gull, and like all the other gulls like rah, 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 chase after it, and like, you know, it drops the shit, and then they pick it up, and then when everybody gets, like, you know, you fight over it. Like, well, what species really does it? Like, I mean, you know, you see, like I was talking about, like the pack of monkeys, you know, like they pretty much work together. Then you get whatever they find, then someday, sooner or later, you get that sociopathic monkey, right? They're like, I ain't never telling you where the fucking bananas are. You know, I'm gonna take you to the bananas. I'm gonna bash you over the head with a rock. You know, so, Like, come on. Yeah. Like, what? Where'd that monkey come from? Like, we never had no monkey like that before. Oh, maybe, like, let's talk about that experiment. What would happen with 2 packs of monkeys? He gave one of them mirrors. Put them in a gym, right? Like, say, so let's just put 2 packs of monkeys in 2 Planet Fitnesses. Okay. Don't put mirrors in one Planet Fitness and then put mirrors in another Planet Fitness, and you got 2 packs of monkeys. One in, all right? So the mirrors. So you got your control, right? You got your control of the pack of monkeys in the gym. Like, are they going to start working out, exercising? Give them every food and water that they need. Then give the other one mirrors, and then watch, see 4 or 5 generations, and then put a tunnel into the other one. And then add a tunnel. Okay, add a tunnel after 5 generations, and see if the monkeys, the ones with the mirrors, start fabricating body armor and weapons out of the fucking gym. Where they're working out, pumping iron, run through the tunnel, get the other monkey, bring them back, enslave them. Is that does that happen in nature? Is that what would happen? Because that seems like what we're taught, that's what we did to ourselves. I don't know if I really buy that. I feel like there's an external force that either controls people's minds, or those people are just they're not human to begin with, and they do all this sick stuff, and then there is a higher power that's gonna come back one day and be like, what the fuck did you guys do? And then the other species, or the other externality, is gonna be like, oh yeah, look at how bad the humans are, and then we're just gonna get wiped out. Really, we're really good. Humans are really good. And they're making us look like fucking we did this to ourselves. And that's no, man, no. That's why, when we had our civil war in this country over slavery, really, if you really said, it was more about the money. These states started printing their own fiat currency, and the Confederates were like, oh, fuck the Union Greenback, man. We're going with this. We got our company script. Well, there's that too in the Gilded Age. You had companies that the companies were printing their own money, and then you would work for the company, you would live in a company home, and then you would buy your food and shit from the company with company script, it was called. So these guys were issuing their own currency. These companies, they're basically sweatshops. And when they wanted to bless another, the boss man, they'd be like, here, man, we're just gonna print out here's 500,000 more script. So now suddenly he dumps that in the economy, and then everything starts going up, and they're like, what the fuck? Why is shit so expensive? They're yeah, fuck that, burn the motherfucker down. All right, so you take these 2 packs of monkeys, what would the ones with mirrors do? Some they're self-aware, and then they're more cognizant of themselves and what they are and how they function within the environment in which they've been placed. Are they going to get smarter? Are they going to develop language? And they're all self-aware. To an extent, the monkey's already self-aware. But then you become even more self-aware, and things start to develop. Does that develop exponentially faster if you have mirrors? That's my question. That's the monkey experiment. I wish somebody would do. 2 packs of monkeys, right? Because I don't believe we do it to ourselves, man. I just don't believe that. I don't believe it, man. I don't believe that there was a bunch of thirsty ass white fucking rednecks waiting for the port for the next slaves coming in. There wasn't a bunch of other rednecks saying, fuck that, man, that shit's wrong, let's sabotage this shit. Sink that fucking boat before it even gets in there, man. And those guys, they're gonna be better off at the bottom of the ocean fucking dead versus fucking what they're about to go through. You refuse to eat, they're gonna knock your fucking teeth out, dude. They're gonna whip you and make you do manual labor and sweat and toil 12 hours a day. Some fucking asshole on a horse with a fucking rifle, an overseer. Give me liberty or give me death. Okay? Alright? That's what our forefathers said. We want liberty or we want death. I'll do those guys a favor. You don't hear about any of that in history. You don't hear about any vigilante, you got your Underground Railroad, you got your Tubman, but the story goes that, she did that herself. It wasn't, there weren't all these Northerners, there had to be Southerners too. You're gonna tell me those people just reorganize their society and yeah, we're for slavery, I'm gonna go move to Mississippi and get me a slave. Come on, man. That shit's freaking. I don't believe that human beings have the capacity to do that to each other without being influenced in our minds by something far more fucking sinister, okay? Like, where do we get that idea to enslave somebody? Like, I mean, I'm not get it. Like, there's the whole BDSM thing where, you know, you want to, fantasize, fetish, that kind of stuff, power exchange dynamic. Okay, yeah, I get that in the bedroom. All right, yeah, I understand that fully. But as far as like a society, I mean, if I grew up in the 1800s, I mean, that'd just make me puke my fucking guts out. I see another man being whipped or a woman being whipped, and then she gets salt rubbed in her fucking wounds as she's pulling some fucking other fucking different, delineated fucking human on a fucking coach, or a covered wagon. Like, I mean, like, I don't believe that we did that to each other. I believe that we share this planet with something else that fucking taught us to do that to each other and said it was okay. Look, here it is. It's okay. And then they got, the sociopaths together and the not basically the non-humans and said, hey, man, here's how you can exploit this power structure. My point is, it's all fucking contrived, okay? It's all contrived. Happened? Oh, yeah, man. Like, I ain't saying it didn't happen, man. Like, it's contrived, okay? So don't get me twisted. Please don't get me twisted. I'm not a fucking history denier. I'm sure there's shit that happens as fucking rainfalls, man. Like, so, but I don't believe that human beings were responsible for it. I believe we share this planet with many, many other things. Some we can't even see. But we're starting to wake up. We're starting to wake up and see these things. So it's kind of hard to deny at this point, like, when you got videos and you see, like, fucking predator things, like, you like going around, like, what the fuck is that, man? Or, like, you see some guy, and like, oh, that's just a fiber optic suit. He's got this suit on that, the front of it, he's got such processing power in his suit, and it's powered by his own movements, or some reactor they don't even tell us we got, the front of my shirt would be like a TV screen or an LCD on fabric, liquid crystal display, and I got small little cameras on the back of me that now are going to take whatever's behind me and then display it on the LCD in front of me. So you see this tree behind me, like, you're gonna see the rest of that tree coming down right here, okay? Like, so now you ain't gonna see me at all. All right, so I mean, hey, that's definitely feasible. It's definitely possible to do, and it's probably a lot easier than you think. You probably don't even need like to have computers. Like, there's probably just some way to, some substance that just bends light like that or fucks with our eyes, so we just can't even see it at all. Then you get the predator, like fucking yeah. Fuck that, man. I've seen a few of those on. I won't tell you what platform I use it on, because you know what, man. I look at some of these platforms and I'm like, man, there should be way, way, way more. There should be way more. Just videos of stupid shit too. I mean, come on, man. Like, where are all the teenagers pulling pranks in this digital age? Like, and filming it. Like, come on, man. I did so much. Oh god. I told you before, like with the like we used to take a fishing line and we get like a Davy Crockett hat, a raccoon hat, and then we tie the fishing line to the tail and like we'd go run and put it across the street, and we'd hide in a bush or a tree, and when a car came we'd pull it across. I mean, yeah, stupid shit like that. But you should see, I mean, with a nation of 300 million people, and that would put, what, like, how many are retired? How many people are under 25? You're talking about, there should be like 40 million people in this country under 45. So that, on average, about 1 million per state. You'd think, we got 1 million people under 25 in each state. Like, whoa, man, like, that's a lot of young people. Like, well, where the fuck are they all? They sure shit ain't playing baseball. I don't see them. I see these empty baseball fields all the time. They're maintained, but I don't ever see nobody playing baseball. I don't see nobody playing football. Like, you're telling me that, like, them boys are so sitting at home at Call of Duty, they don't give a shit about girls, they don't care about their bodies, like, they ain't trying to get, like, in good shape, like, they ain't even trying to ride a bike? I mean, fuck, we got electric bikes now, man. We live in, like, this rich country that, like, I mean, you look at these people's houses, like, oh yeah, we got 3 kids, 4 kids, you're in like a $500,000 home. Like, yeah, they still have like $3,000 electric bikes that you can buy at Dick's Sporting Goods. Like, I don't see shit like that. That shit should be all over. And it ain't. Should be packs of kids on electric bikes, you know, fucking figuring out solar panels, and there should be like mobile charging or charging at every park for these bikes, because these kids are like, hey, what the fuck? Where the hell are all those people? Where are those young people? Where are they? They ain't playing soccer. They ain't playing football. They ain't playing baseball. They ain't hooping. Well, what the fuck? Just saying, where are they? So, when you don't see stuff like that, but you operate under the assumption that it's happening everywhere, but then you never leave your fucking house to see that it ain't happening anywhere, because I live outside, all right? For all intents and purposes, I live outside, and I pay attention to the environment that I'm in. So when I'm looking around, I'm like, there should be packs of kids, you know, in a nation of 300 and something million people, with each state on average, and in a highly populated areas like Tampa Bay, like Hillsborough County, man, like, them kids are, they are no more, if they ever were, okay? So, like, we have all this technology, ability, and we have all this money in this country, but I just ain't seeing it. And then we have these population that's reported, and I'm not seeing it, and it's disconcerting to me that I don't see it, and it should be disconcerting to you, and that's why I'm telling you about it. You know, FML, really, because whatever's going to happen to me is going to happen to me. I don't care. I'm going to be a loudmouth on my soapbox, because, you know what, in the end, it's worth it. It's worth it. Someone's got to do it. Someone's got to do it. Okay. So what we've been taught basically is to set our world on fire, and that's okay, because we have a class of people that just want way more than everybody else. So I'm gonna go work an hour away. I'm gonna take a freeway that takes a toll. I got to pay like $6 each way. Just to say, for example, you live 2 counties up of Hillsborough. Let's say you live in Spring Hill and work for Lockheed Martin. Okay, you're gonna spend like $10 a day on tolls. You're gonna eat like $15 a day on gas. Like so it's gonna cost you like $25 a day to get to and from work, and you're probably gonna, you know, if you're working there, you're probably getting paid good. So it's like, hey, you know, what the hell, who cares, right? Like, you're making that kind of money, yeah, I can afford to do it. But then there's other people that are like, well, you know, like, I can barely afford to do it, but that's the only job that I got access to. And whether you can afford it, it's not the point that I'm making. The point that I'm making is that you're going 40 miles, which is like kind of like inconceivable to anybody previous to motor vehicles. So you're going 40 miles, and we got this resource, this really important resource that we have, which might as well be a gift, man. Like, I'm telling you, take that oil and you could 3D print right out of the fucking ground, man, and build houses and buildings, and very tall. You ever build a house out of cards even? Like, I mean, I've gotten it pretty dang high. And those are just cards. That's just paper covered with wax. Imagine what you can do with a plastic, a 4x8 sheet of 1/2 inch of plastic. Okay, like, so for every tank of gas that you get this year, like, you could get like 1 or 2 of those 4x8 sheets of 1/2 inch plastic, building material, printed, just 3D printed. I mean, we could scale it up with all the tax money we bring in this country. Like, our government should just like nationalize like 1 or 2 oil wells and be like, here, man, printing off these freaking things. Like, here you go. Here's 4x8 sheets of polycarbonate. You know, like, indestructible, basically. You know, the sun will destroy it over time, but it's a 1/2 inch thick. And if you go and put armor all on it or wax, you know, it'll be all right. Take care of it. And fire's banned. Okay, you ain't having no fires. No. Not, you got a whole, that's like, you know, rocks are banned in glass houses. Well, fire's banned in plastic houses, okay? Or if you want to have fire, okay, you know, it's still possible, but then now we've got to run, you know, water tubes everywhere, which is cool too. We all need water. And we pump that shit right out of the ground too. So like, we have like the ability, and it's like so like obvious. I mean, it is so obvious. Like, if a guy like me can draw a schematic for a power plant that just blows anything out of the water that we have today, technologically, and efficiency, and is based on like a few like principles, I can draw that on a fucking napkin. I'm looking around this world like, oh, okay, we're definitely under attack, and convinced that we need to be setting our shit on fire to earn De Niro bucks to buy fucking shit we don't need. which eats up more resources that will keep our civilization from surviving 100 years from now, 200 years from now. It's quite apparent, okay? Thermodynamically, it's quite apparent. We do such inefficient shit, and we just light our shit on fire to earn De Niro bucks, to buy a fucking banana that used to just grow for free. Like, what? What the fuck, man? Okay? Stop that shit. I mean, you don't even need no human to pick no banana, man. Like, somebody at some university, some school of engineers should be able to build a tree or a robot, a machine with very little building materials, mostly made out of plastic, of 3D printed plastic, that just climbs a tree and gets a damn banana. Like, man, and then print them up, scale up, motherfucker, man, scale up. What is the problem? Like, what's the problem? Scale up. Why aren't we scaling up? You should, we see that tree behind me? We should be hanging most of our politicians from it for not scaling up. Not even, like, how are you 60 years old and, like, you don't have an inkling, and you're supposed to be running the country, and, like, you don't have an inkling, man. Like, man, hang that motherfucker from the highest tree. Alright, this guy was purposely destroying our civilization. Boom, guilty. Easy to prove. Look, he signed all these laws. You know, like, hello. Come on, man. Come on. Every little oil rig I see, oh, that's private property, it's owned by somebody, it's been passed down from generation to generation. So wait, you gave away the land. So wait, first you had a bunch of men on horseback kill a bunch of other men that didn't have horses and guns. You took their land, and then you discovered they had oil. I want a piece of that, man. I want a piece of that. Sorry, I don't care, man. Well, guess what? Then we need an inheritance tax at 90%. I bet you everybody under 30 would agree with me. Unless they inherited fucking an oil well. And I've met them people too, man. I ain't got a care in the fucking world. Hey, man, that shit comes out of the ground. I was just born with it. So I'm just going to be an idiot and look at you guys like you're fucking poor and insignificant, even though you guys are all 3 times as smart as me. But haha, I got the whip. Fuck you, motherfucker. I'm going to come for that whip. Because men like me, we know. I have no respect for that. 90% inheritance tax. 90. Fuck that. I want my slice, man. Like, I ain't sitting out here suffering while you sit here and, like, run around like you own the world, like you're on something. Yeah, we're coming for you. I'll tell you that right now. We're coming for you because the young people in this country aren't going to stand for that shit. They're going to take a look around and say, why am I looking at a fucking $300,000, $50,000 home and motherfuckers be walking around here like they own the place just based on whatever their great-great-grandparents did. So basically, they've inherited the right. They've inherited the right to fuck you over because once you got money, your ability to make money is exponentially greater than the other guy who ain't got no money. Even though the other guy did everything right his whole life, he went to school, he freaking did all the right things, man. Like, and that guy ain't got a fucking chance in hell. And meanwhile, your ass just got money comes out of the ground, and it's our most important natural resource, and you want to convince me that I need to burn it to make money from you or one of your friends? Hell no, man. Hell no. I am not going to sell my great-grandkids so you can live a little bit or way better than everybody else. I mean, get out of here. That's our future, man. That's our future. You ain't got no right, oh yeah, I inherited an oil well. Fuck you, man. 90% tax. What are you going to do when we come for it? Call the police? Well, we own the police. Not no more, man. They ain't no police. Take a look around. When's the last time you seen someone pulled over? Like, come on. Yeah, because they got wives. And they're like, man, we better start pulling people over because these people are getting fucking pissed. And we're sitting here looking at like, well, why we need to support the police department. Well, go out there and have the police department pick up shit off the side of the road. Have an open carry cleanup. How's that? You know, get the citizens together, have their guns next to the police with their guns, and then fucking pick shit up on the side of the road. See if one of these fucking guys start mouthing off to a citizen and then fucking gets his shit fucking wrecked. You know? Let's do it. Calling bullshit, man. The organized bullying that fucking enforce a system that makes no fucking sense. Not economically, not thermodynamically. Those are the entropists. I want to be an enthropist, okay? I want to support order in this fucking world. That's not order. That's fake order. Okay? That's fake order. It's not real order. We do what's right. We do what's thermodynamically favorable. We don't cut down our fucking trees. You know, like, come on, man. You got this externality force. We got all this shit. Like, people literally got photos. Like, Elon Musk, man, great billionaire. He's got fucking pictures of this shit in orbit. And he's like, what the fuck is this shit? What is this shit, man? I mean, come on. Like, how obvious is it gonna be? I'm tired of arguing with, like, 60-year-old men with fucking gray beards telling me there ain't no such thing as this and that and blah, blah, blah. It's like, dude, yeah, you got yours, man. Now you want to protect yours by fucking making everybody else think that shit ain't real? We just woke and educated, and we got tools. So take your ass the fuck to the moon then, and get the fuck off our planet. How's that? How's that? Okay? That's where we're at today. Because it's all falling apart. It's all falling apart. It's quite apparent. It's all falling apart, man. I go canvas for a politician right now, man. I go canvas. Say, hey, man, you know, election day is coming. You gonna vote? You see some guy, there's some fucking trailer, man. He's like, you know, little eyes pop out, like he's got like through a mail slot. I haven't voted in 30 years. All right, man, that's cool. Go knock on the next 2 houses, they're empty. All right. The fuck is everybody? Where is everybody? I told you, man, I was here for the Super Bowl in Tampa Bay. And I was here for the election in Tampa Bay. There wasn't a 250,000 people came out for the Super Bowl. Oh yeah, man, the place was a madhouse. 250,000 people did not come out for the election because you could hear a pin drop. I made it a point. To go pay attention on election day. I'm like, man, if they report even more than fucking 1,000 votes in Hillsborough County, like, there should be just fucking people everywhere waiting in lines at the polling stations, all that shit. There should be cars, traffic, buses full of voters of all these advocacy groups. Like, yeah, come on, vote, we'll give you a ride, blah, 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 meet here. No one done shit like that. Ew, COVID, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so, like, do we have records of, like, people, like, where, I want to see photos of everybody's vote. I don't care what, you want to black out the part where it says who they voted for, but I want to see, hey, man, I want a piece of paper that says this motherfucker came out, or this motherfucker licked an envelope and put a stamp on it. That ain't too much to ask for. No, you go there, it's like this fucked up, complicated machine. Man, that's a shredder. You ever go vote? That's a fucking shredder, man. Like, come on. Like, where do I put my fucking ballot in here? Fuck that, man. I want a set of human eyes. There's somebody who's in the community who, if they decide they're gonna lie and say, yeah, this guy got more votes, the community's gonna say, oh, bet, let's check what, let's count, let's do recount. We're gonna get a team of people to count what you counted. And if we come up with a number that deviates more than 0.01%, man, you're definitely gonna be hung from this fucking tree. And see if that guy changes his fucking tune. Trust me, he will real fucking quick, because it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. And we ain't got time to be living like this, all right? I ain't got time to live like this. It's all gonna fall apart. Like, if you're under 30, man, you gotta listen to me. You gotta listen to me. I promise you. Ain't gonna be nothing left by the time you're my age, okay? I was born in the 80s. The 80s. There won't be nothing left by the time you're my age. You're 16 and you're looking at school, it better be fucking free. All right? By this time, with how much money we've made, and you got all these people that don't pay no taxes and they inherited a huge swath of land that produces them fucking $100,000 a day in oil. Man, that motherfucker just beat off on your face. Like, he don't give a fuck, dude. You get pulled over, he's not even gonna stop. Send a ticket in the mail to my fake fucking license plate under my fake ID, you know? Because I got 18 social security numbers. I mean, you can dig them out of the trash. That's where I got mine. I got like 6 of them. What do you want? I don't use them, but I could. I just took them because I'm like, man, somebody bad might take these and use them for some nefarious purpose. So I'm like, fuck. So I got like all these people's like, and I'm like, man, these people are probably fucking dead. You know, somebody comes into their old home, wherever they were living, and then just clears it out and then dumps everything of theirs at a donation box. And that's where I got this. Like, I mean, man, I don't pay for nothing because everything in this country is free, because they just like take the shit and dump it at a donation drop-off point, and the drop-off point's like this little box where you put your bag in, like, and it falls down in there, and somebody comes out with a key and then opens it up, and then they take the shit. Those things get full in like a couple, especially in the Midwest. Go to the Chicagoland area, man. That thing is fucking full. Every day, man, there's a mountain of shit. I mean, like, look, come on. Yeah, I got this. Donations. Brand new clothes. It's a $50 hoodie. $50 sweatpants. Just pull it right out of I call it the voodoo box, man. Pull it right out. Free. Who gives away something like this? That don't make no sense to me. Somebody who's just clearing land. That's who does that, okay? So these people, they're coming in there and fucking... No fucking way, man. If I found this in some home, I would know somebody to at least give it to. Like, aren't you a member of the community? Like, you ain't got no kids. Your kids don't have friends. Like, you don't have a cousin, a brother, a sister, a mother who's got a friend who's got grandkids. Like, what? Then why are you here? Why are you here? Okay? Who the fuck are you and why are you here? Oh, that's Reverend Ramdas Singh, Mr. Sing Sing. He owns 18 properties around town. On paper, he's worth $18 million, and he generates $150,000 tax revenue a year for the municipality. Well, where's it go? You know? And why are the parks trashed if you got that kind of loot? Like, what the fuck? It's bullshit. It's just on paper, man. It's an empty house and it's on paper. Ain't nobody fucking living in there, alright? Ain't nobody really paying that tax. Like, it's on paper, but ain't nobody, they don't get to spend it. Like, if you look at the budget, look at the expenditures, they won't add up. They won't add up. I promise you they won't add up. Because the only way for them to add up is if somebody's just stealing all the money. Because it's not going to be, or the county's just employing a bunch of people that just do fucking nothing. Which, you know, I kind of seen that at this park. You know, somebody came by, took a picture, they fucking left the trash just to lay it on the ground. Like, man, are you kidding me? Way they opened their door, they like fucking almost broke the hinge off their truck because they parked it like this. Come out here and take a picture of the park. Yeah, look, and they take a perfect picture where it's all nice and clean because people like me pick shit up off the ground. But take a look around like the pavilion. I had to sweep the pavilion. They couldn't hire a guy to come out here with a leaf blower. Like I see 3 or 4 county workers roll through this park in a day, and not one of them pulls out a fucking broom and goes sweeps the pavilion or gets a leaf blower, blows the pavilion. The pavilion's got all the there ain't no wasps or nothing under there, like, but there's a bunch of spider webs, cobwebs. I mean, if you don't maintain that shit, it will fall apart. Just like our whole society, we're not maintaining it because people aren't paying the fuck attention. Because there ain't as many people as you think. Because if we had that kind of population, there'd be a lot more people like me. There'd be a lot more people like me. I've been out there on the corner of the street with a street sign, man. No more monkey business. We ain't supposed to be in business. We're the monkeys, okay? We ain't supposed to be in business. See gorillas putting on suits. Like, I told you, all I want to do is climb trees, eat mangoes, have sex, maybe go surfing, make some mead, brew up some fermentation. Like, I mean, we don't. But we've hit the part of technology where, you know what, we've got the tech now where we can rebuild our world very easily, and we're not. We're continuing to destroy it. And that don't make no sense to me. And I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat, man. Like, if I'm going to have a conversation with you and I'll just be neutral and I'll ask you a series of questions, I guarantee you'll fucking agree with me. If you're human, you're gonna agree with me. You're not gonna be like, the non-humans are like, well, what are you getting at? You know, well, these questions are all loaded. No, man, I'm telling you the fucking truth, and your brain is hypnotized to not see the truth, and you're fucking going, it's obvious. Like, why would you ever argue this? Like, why would you ever argue what color the freaking sky is? Or why would you ever argue the efficiency thermodynamically of combusting a hydrocarbon versus running a charge off of a lead cell battery? I mean, they had electric cars they basically came out at the same time, you know, but it was, they were heavier, like the battery technology, blah blah blah, wasn't there, and it's like charging stations, things like that. But yeah, man, we had electric cars in 1920. They were much heavier, but you know what? You got like an 800-pound battery in your car, and you with gear ratios like, man, like I see, I see people on the roadways in their little scoots. They got like this little battery in there, and like, man, they got a 50-mile range. And you're talking about like a 300-pound motherfucker, his feet are so swollen he can't even walk. And that guy's got a little scoot, takes him 50 miles. So, you know, and the battery weighs like 18, 20 pounds. What's that guy got? Can't put that in a car? Can't elect a politician that says, hey man, this is what's going to happen whether you like it or not. Fuck you, Ford, either adapt or get the fuck out. And now suddenly, like, we gotta wait for a guy like Elon to come by. Like, there should be, like, with a nation of 300 million people, there should be like 50 Elons. Where are they all? Think about it, man. Think about it. Oh, well, the gangster industry of the 1970s and the oil men and blah, bullshit. Bullshit, man. Like, come on, man. Yeah, that's why they don't go out in public and fly around us in their fucking billion-dollar jets, right? Because we would just kill them on sight. At this point, like, I look around like everybody wallowing in shit. Yeah, man, fuck you, Rockefeller. Your shit's being appropriated. Oh, we're gonna have private property. We gotta respect the billionaires. Man, how did they get it? Through being a gangster and fucking Debo and fucking shit all across the world. I mean, come on, man. You're gonna tolerate that shit on the basis that, like, you're some fucking Republican or something like that? Like, what the fuck, man? 'Cause I gotta have my V8 on my dirt bike. You gotta respect Rockefeller. Fuck you. Come get it, man. I'm a libertarian, man. I'm gonna fucking take your shit. And I don't care. I don't care, because at this point, it's do that or die. All right? Because that's where we're at. In 20 years, this country's fucking gone. All right? Just look at the numbers. It all adds up. You want to sit here and you go, oh, we're Malthusians now. Okay, well, necessity is the mother of invention. So wait, you're going to be dead, though, and you're going to tell me that I'll be able to invent something to fix all the fucking problems you created for me? Fuck you. I'd just kill you now, man. See that tree? We're going to hang you. Got me? You feel me? Good. I'm sure all the young people in this country feel me, too. Because it's bullshit. All right? It's bullshit. Them people got more money than fucking God. They could be God. And they play God. And we're all a bunch of victims. Fuck that. Fuck that shit. I want to see skyscrapers being built in this country again. Like, what happened to that? Like, downtown Tampa, there should be cranes everywhere, and excavators, and bulldozers. What happened to that? What happened to skyscrapers? I want to see mega cities, man. I want to see a skyscraper that is totally self-sufficient, thermodynamically. Oh, and by the way, if you print your own building materials out of plastics, man, they're very good insulators. That's why we put plastic around our wires. Okay, it's very good insulation. All right. So, you want to do like fiberglass and fucking gypsum board and shit. And like, fuck that, man. Just print a 4x8 sheet of plastic. Trust me, your house will get really hot. But at the same time, you can have it set up so the wind goes through it, you know, because hey man, isn't this like a trend here? Like, doesn't wind always go pretty much like, you got these like things called easterlies or westerlies, like it's pretty apparent, like, you know, which way the wind, statistically the wind travels this way. Okay, so we're gonna plant a bunch of trees on the what would it be, the west side of the house, you know, like, so, or well, no, probably. Hey, tell you what, why don't you build your house around a tree? There's that. And don't be putting those screws in trees, or man, you spike a tree, it's gonna fucking die. Okay, that tree's gonna get stick. Don't hang. Probably telling people how to kill trees now, but you know, now oh, let me put a nail in the tree. Yeah, don't do that. Okay, don't hang a sign with a nail and put it into a tree. The tree's gonna get sick and fucking thing's gonna die. You want to put a sign on a tree? Use some shrink wrap or something like that. You tape it. It'll last long enough for the purpose of the sign, because if you ain't gonna come out and maintain it or whatever you're putting a sign on a tree for, don't be hammering shit into trees. Okay, so build your home around a tree. First of all, you got like a giant oak tree, man, that provides like look, all right, check out this tree here. Let's see, build your home under that fucking tree. They used to be everywhere, and those trees will outlive everybody. You're like, I mean, the thing's gonna go live, and it's gonna get sick and they'll get sick and die, because we got other thing like that. We call it the Spanish moss, so that kind of detracts. How about just call it the moss? Call it the alien moss, because where the fuck did it come from, and why is it specifically designed to like kill fucking oak trees? You know, why? Takes these oak trees down, man, all over Florida, man. You come down here to Hillsborough County, Pasco. go up there through the farmland, man, where it's beautiful, like, you got cows and everything, like, it used to be orange groves, all this shit used to grow naturally, nothing would fucking kill it. Now suddenly we got this shit that's just, like, killing all our shit. Like, we're under attack, if that ain't obvious. Like, you want to call it the Chinese, fine. I don't care what language paradigm you subscribe to in which, but it's a boogeyman. How to simplify, it's a boogeyman. If you believe in God, so you believe God created this thing to fucking kill that tree, so he made a tree just to make a moss to kill it later. How's that make any fucking sense? You know what, let's ask God. Like, well, you know, like, it don't make no sense. All right, so your storyline is bullshit and you have to accept it now because the evidence is staring you in the fucking face. All right, so clearly there's an externality, let's call it that. So the externality deemed that that thing has to die, and that thing's incredibly useless or useful to us alive. It's that easy, you know. You 3D print some plastic around it, man. You know, like, you could corrugate it. You could do all kinds of stuff. You could 3D print it with little grooves in it, and then when, you know, run water through it, and then run the water through a radiator, or have the water heat up and move things too. You know, like steam. Like, I mean, it's very simple. Or you could run water through it and have hot water. I mean, you could cool your whole home with a plastic home, and everybody could have easily have a plastic home that it has a little tubing through it, which you run water through, and it would keep you cool, man. Just pump the water out of the ground. If you go, what I've been taught is, if you like the Earth's crust is like, if you go so far down or whatever, like 6 feet. Or something like that, below the frost line. Like, if you're up north, like, you're going to be able to get heat. It'll be a constant, like, 60 degrees if you go so far under. So my feeling is, even in Florida where it's hot or whatever, if you go so far down, it's going to be cool. The soil will be cool. It'll be colder. So, like, you'd easily put, like, a radiator down there type dealie, or run the water. You could pump the water out of the ground from, like, 56 feet, like well water, like we do. Okay, so you get a well. And then you pump this water through your plastic home. So it goes through all the tubings and it cools it down. Yeah, it would probably sweat like a mofo. I mean, you're going to have to wipe your walls, people. Like, you know, get a squeegee. You know, once it, like, or you're going to get mold. Like, yes, there's considerations here in the design element. Absolutely, 100%. Things you got to think about. But these things should have already been thought about, man. Like, we shouldn't be having, like, 3D printers now. And you get a home 3D printer, make a little, you know, fucking, make a little top and spin it and look at it and get hypnotized. Oh, fuck that, man. Where's the engineers at in this fucking country? Where are they all? What happened to them all? Like, I got scooped up in the industry. Like, I'm a chemical engineer, but, like, they make it so lucrative for me to just do fucking IR spec analysis on fucking, you know, or use the refractometer. Never mind IR spec. Like, there's a refractometer. Like, motherfucker, get the fuck out of here. You make $80,000-$90,000 a year. What the fuck, man? You could be designing this shit. So, like, where are all these mechanical engineers? Like, you know, they're probably all sitting there saying this stuff, but again, everything around you is contrived, okay? Like, everything is contrived. So, like, you're going to get somebody with that brain that has that functionality and has the right education, and they might personally look around at the world like, holy shit, you know, just like me. Like, wait, I could build something better. But when they go to do it, like, everything's going to stand in their way somehow. Magically. It might as well be magically. And that's the externality, the all-omniscient externality. You know, might as well call them God if you want, or gods, or God and the devil. The devil's standing in the way of that engineer. He's going to tempt them, that guy. Suddenly that engineer's going to have, like, he's going to get a real cheap plug for cocaine and then fucking be off to the races, you know, with all the whores in town, and fucking, he's going to, like, pull all the equity out of his home, and then his wife's going to divorce him. You know, he's going to lose his kids and all that shit, and his whole life's just going to go to shit. Or it's going to be so good where he's on permanent vacation, works like 2 months a year. Because that guy's actually got the knowledge to do this shit. It's like me, man. I got knowledge to do pretty much anything on this planet. And, like, somehow, some way, a circumstance brings me to living in my truck on the, you know, outside in the street. You know, as much as I try to get, man, I was in the crypto market multiple times, dude. You know, got victimized by pump and dump schemes. I've worked on these projects. Like, I mean, come on. I can't get ahead for some reason, guy like me. It's because of the way I think and the shit I say. I guarantee you that. It ain't got nothing to do with the personal decisions, man. Like, all the circumstance can be contrived easily around you. to guide you in a certain way. Like, you think you got all this you're a human, you think you're complicated. Well, not really, man. Like, 9 times out of 10, you're probably gonna do this, you know, given this. So basically, you're the you were the probabilistic outcome given the parameters of a given construct. Okay, if that makes sense. You're the probabilistic outcome given the parameters of a given construct. So basically, you're born in a construct, i.e., America, with this education system, with counties, cities, villages, localized government going into a federal government. Like, you got 3 layers of fucking government, which is why we have that. Like the guy in the village next door is like, what? They believe that much different, like between Brandon and Sefner? Like what? Like what? What the fuck, man? It's called Hillsborougans, you know? Like, how about that? You know, ain't no need for, you know, and you notice they are on Brandon Police. Now, you go out and more, like, when you get more populated, like, or when it was more populated, like, you'll see this in the Midwest, man, there's a lot of people, was a lot of people, to the point, and there's still, you know, to some extent, there are, like, relative to the rest of the country. I mean, you go out to the Chicagoland area, like, everybody's got a police force. Okay, everybody. Like, the village of this, the village of that, you know, they've got villages. They got their own charters, and, man, you got people living there that don't even have a fucking inkling about what any of that shit means. And it's like, oh, it's the police. Well, it's actually, you live in gangland, man. Like, your fucking police is the gang. They're the ones that are running everything here, and there ain't nobody there to stop them. So it's like, hey, man, when you got... Yeah, man, that shit happens, man. There's police out there that are running the ice game in fucking certain counties. Like, you know, and they're from a village. Like, yes, that's absolutely 100%. Like... Because it's all set up, so that's the probabilistic outcome of given the parameters of a given construct. So we're given the construct, okay? Like, hey, boom, you're born in America. Okay, this is your construct. This is you got a political system which you're taught. Those are your parameters, which you're taught is just totally gangster, and we're totally powerless, and we can't do nothing about it. Because that's just the way things are. That's what an old person will tell you. I'm too lazy to fight, but I got mine. So eat a dick, fucking 25-year-old. I get Social Security, and hey, fuck it. I mean, I get it, man. Like, you put in your time and work fucking, you know, you work 40, 50 hours a week every week for 40 fucking years. Okay, man, cool. But if that ain't the case, you know, like, well, what about the rest of us? Like, what, you don't care about the future of our future? Well, we're going to come take your shit then. Because once you hit 80 and start racking up fucking $150,000 a year in medical bills, I ain't fucking paying for it. Like, what are you thinking? Fuck that. Cheaper to kill you now, man. So why don't you reconsider your fucking viewpoint on the world? Now that it's cheaper to kill you, and there's nobody left to defend you, and nobody wants to defend you because of all the fucking choices that you made your whole life, what now? Where does that leave us? That leaves us, a bunch of young people, thirsty, looking at your shit. Point blank, okay? So why don't you come back into the fold with the rest of us and quit living in fucking fantasy land, okay? Because that's exactly where you live. That 70-year-old guy in the trailer, I'm Republican, wrap my shotgun. Yeah, dude. And I buy coke and hookers every month. As soon as I get my check, and I go to the food bank. Fuck you. I mean, come on, man. Y'all out there still having a party, and the rest of us are looking around like, what the fuck, man? You're just like setting our world on fire. We got aircraft carriers. Well, there's another people to exploit. Look, just go exploit them. Then start a war for your kids. No. No. Fuck that, man. We can see it because we're so educated now. So when you try to see that, we see the probabilistic outcome given the parameters of the construct you're giving us, okay? So, you want to say, hey, we got this great military might and blah, 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 we got all these aircraft carriers. Man, you got like 7 or 8 aircraft carriers, and you barely can fucking pilot the fucking aircraft on those carriers, okay? So, and we're not just going to like send them off like, yeah, well, the rest of the world called our bluff, man. They said, well, man, you guys overstated your population for a real long time, and you got the technology, but you ain't got the manpower, so you ain't fit. We're going to make it very expensive for you to come over here and fuck with us. That's exactly what they did. And now, like, look at all the unfunded liabilities we have for just the VA. You know, all those guys went over there, risked their lives in these wars, and they come back all fucked up because you made them do all kinds of fucked up shit to the innocent people. You know, like, we're just going to go kick in doors of the whole fucking city, and we're going to go take all the guns. Pretty much, we're not going to tell anybody about any. We're going to we're going to compartmentalize our intel. We're going to give these guys a pack of cards. Hey, you see this guy? Get him. It's like, why didn't you send a bunch of fucking people like me in there? Send people like me in there, man. I'll find that guy. Easy. Just gonna fucking sit there and pretend like you're a tourist and look around, man. Don't be afraid. People treat you nice, man. Trust me, man. You go places, if you speak the language, I can go to any Latin American country, man. I can go to any Latin American shithole. And, like, if you're a decent person, man, if you ain't got shit to begin with, you ain't got nothing to take. Hey, here I am, man. Like, trust me, man. It's not hard to infiltrate and gather intel, all right? If you're there and your story checks out, people look at you and look away, all right? So like it should, and given our level of diversity in this country, you couldn't get together like a team of people that like at least spoke those people's language and then go in there 2 to 3 years in advance and be like, hey man, like these are the people causing the trouble. Just take out these guys and fucking everybody will actually be happy that those guys are gone because they're a bunch of fucking ragtag bullies. We should have done that, not fucking brute force our way in. If we're gonna brute force our way in, then fucking, hey man, why don't you turn the place into a fucking parking lot then? I mean, we have the ordinance, supposedly, so then why not do that? But we didn't do that either. We had to do surgical strikes because of the, UN charter, fucking blah, blah, blah. I was like, well, if you want to go unilaterally anyway, man, fuck that, dude. You committed us already, so better do it most efficiently and cheapest. Like, not fucking, oh shit, now we look like a bunch of idiots, now we gotta backtrack, and then we gotta go back, and then we gotta backtrack again, now we're all just saving face at the cost of, like, a fucking fortune, and you all don't care because you just assume that guys like me are gonna foot the fucking bill, and that's bullshit. And people younger than me, no, hell no, man. We ain't gonna foot that bill. We're gonna stop paying, and this country's gonna default, and then we're gonna pay them our De Niro bucks, hoping that they're gonna bite, and they're gonna be, nah, man, we want euros, or we want Bitcoin, or whatever. So then they're gonna have to take our currency. So now the rest of us, for Americans, our world is gonna implode, all right? Because the rest of the world called our bluff, okay? The rest of the world called our bluff. We said, man, you ain't got half the shit you say you got. So it leaves us, not in a good position for our future. And the only thing that, like, the only thing that, see what's going to happen is, like, the economy is going to implode, and the housing bubble that's here again is just going to just crack. Because people are going to, like, sooner or later you're going to get a software developer, they're just going to put together an algorithm. They are doing this now. Like, I mean, they're even advertising on YouTube, like, join the tax lien game, like, fucking, basically go to these counties and be like, all right, man, where's the money? Because I see you're collecting a tax. You claim that this guy paid his taxes. And we start asking questions like that for your county treasurer. Be like, well, I went and knocked on that door. That guy ain't there. Who wrote that check? It's public record, man. I want to know I want to know the bank account number that check came from. And we start asking questions like that, man. Trust me, that they'll start doing the actual reporting and the actual accounting. But yeah, all right, nobody fucking actually lives here. We just don't want a free-for-all. We don't want our housing market to go in a downward spiral. So we're going to sit here and lie about our revenue. But then we say, well, okay, you got the revenue, but how come you're not spending the money? Oh, we are. We've got a bloated police force of 8,000, and they all get overtime. They're all making 120 grand a year. We're just printing the money and giving it to them. Bullshit. Hell no. Not on my watch, man. Fuck that. Nobody paying that tax. Because if the county says, yeah, man, they're belly up, next thing you know, like the first county to say, hey, man, we actually aren't collecting this tax revenue, but we're claiming that we do. But we don't see the expenditure, basically, is what I'm saying. Like, you don't see the expenditure. This park, there should be like a team of 8 guys out here picking fucking weeds with how much money this county is claiming it takes in. Okay? Where's the money going? Clean this fucking place up so I don't have to do it. I'll do it happily, but still, if you claim you're bringing in all this money, where's it going? Oh, it's going to mental health and blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, who do you got in these health departments then? Like I saw that in Hernando County, man. They built this giant health complex, and it was like, I mean, it's the abortion clinic, really. Like, I promise you that's what it is. But it's like this giant complex, and it's always empty. There's only like 12 cars parked out there. Like, I've done that. I've gone to the VA before, man. I've gone to the VA, and it's like, what are they? Everybody got their day off, like, right? And they got all these housing there for veterans, and there's fucking, the tarps over the shingles and shit, and like the fucking leaky roofs and all this other shit. I'm like, man, something don't add up about this. Where the fuck's all the people? You know? What the fuck? What's going on here? So basically, you got a crazy person that's in a fucking in one of these homes in Hillsborough County, and that guy eats up like $3,000 a month in pharmaceuticals. You know, and then like, come on, man, fuck that. Put that person back on the street, or don't give him all that meds that cost all that money. What's it his right that he gets? I mean, well, then if that's the case, then why don't we just flood? Let's start flooding. Hey, I'm crazy. Hey, I'm crazy. Give me a safe place to park my fucking vehicle and all my shit, man. I will definitely go to the mental hospital because I'll take a break. Believe me, I'll take a break. I'll sit there and I'll eat good food and I'll get good drugs and you'll pay for it. You know, like, okay, like, well, yeah, anytime I need a break, right? It ain't like that, man. They're scooping these people up and they got these people in there, but they ain't nowhere near what they're reporting, okay? Like, that's the only thing they have that can really justify some type of expenditure because they ain't building fucking roads. And I see these county workers come by, man, it's like they might as well be fucking zombies. Like, what the fuck? Like, roast people, you know, other people call them sheeple, but, I mean, might as well be a fucking zombie. Where's the money going? Follow the money. And it'll become quite apparent that, like, the county be like, actually, well, we're way overstating our tax revenue. Okay, we're way overstating our tax revenue, and it's evident in the expenditure because we ain't spending it. So once you start putting all that shit together, it says, well, why are you saying you're bringing in this? Well, because these houses that are empty, somebody's paying the taxes on them. No, and you don't want to just give away property because, hey, well, that house automatically, man. If nobody pays that, you know, if he's in a, whatever it is. Let's just say you're in a $300,000 home, you're probably paying like $6,400 a year in taxes. Now an empty $340,000 home that's paying $6,400 in taxes, that ain't really paying. All somebody's got to do is come along and pay that $6,400, and then they get that property. Because the county can't keep the property. They're not allowed to own private property like that. They can't own a house. Unless you got a special county ordinance and blah, blah, blah. Oh, we can own a house, and but we're just going to leave it empty. No, fuck that. It's county property, and I get to use it now. So, all right, so you get people like me to start saying shit like that, and getting other people behind me, and then suddenly these people just they don't even know what the fuck to do. They're like, I don't know, man. I just ran for county commissioner. I don't even understand all this shit, and that's pretty much the case. In most counties you go. In the other counties, they'll be more cabalish. They'll know exactly, and the second you try to go like make some noise about a tax lien, they got like 3 people come out of the woodwork to buy the fucking property, you know, and it's all just like a fake title company and fake money. I mean, like I said, I could steal your house for $1,000 in this country. It wouldn't be hard. And your phone fucking you'd be like, I've been living here 20 years. Ma'am, the paperwork says, and I'm just doing my job. It's happened. There's commercials about it now, you know, like guys warning people about it. I forget who does the one, but and then they offer you insurance so it don't happen. So basically, you pay somebody now. You got to pay somebody in this country to watch your title daily. Your deed. Make sure nobody puts in a quick claim deed on your home. So the second they file that paperwork, you're alerted. Hey, somebody just said, did you really sell your house? And then you're like, oh fuck no, hell no. And then you're running down the county like, what the fuck's going on, man? I'm not selling my house. Like, this ain't happening. You know. Shit happens all the time. That's a tax lien game. They're selling a program on YouTube. You pay $100. Fuck that guy, I'll give it to you free if you're willing. If you're a rider, if you're a rider like me and willing to put on a monkey suit and be like, go down there and now I'm going to spend like whatever, $100 to register an LLC, blah, 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 title company. I'm going to go down there, and it's probably better if it's a woman. She's, you know, works for a title company. Then I got a fake notary, you know, or, you know, well, not a fake notary, but I mean, it's all on the up and up. They got a stamp, you know, it's a notary on the go. They got a stamp. So you got a title company, a notary company, and then some finance company. But on paper, you're selling your house for $100,000, but it's worth $250,000, and they already got a bank lined up. Like, damn, you own this house? Okay, here's $100,000 in equity line, and then they just take the money and run. They don't care what happens after that. That's the tax lien game. It's all a cabal. It's all bullshit, man. Your county government's bullshit. Your municipal government's probably the best thing you've got going. Like, if you live in an actual city and you got a municipal government with a mayor who isn't a total, like, patsy for some other billionaire governor, I think you'll be okay. But you got to make sure you know your police force, okay? Like, who the fuck are you, man? Where do you live? Do you live in the city limits? Like, and then make sure, like, you go to church with at least a few of them. So when they come to evict you out of your home, you're like, nah, man, nah. And they're like, well, look, we're going to serve this paper, we're going to have you leave, and we ain't going to come back to this property and check on you. So if you break back into your own fucking house and live here and wait for the motherfucker that stole your house, but it won't be, though. It'll be they've already sold some other victim, unfortunately, and then they'll have to come out again. But in the meantime, man, like, so if I was evicted from my own home, I would just break back into it the next day, like, knowing full well the cops ain't gonna come back out. Once they've done their job and evicted you and you've left, they ain't never gonna check again. Your neighbors might be like, what the hell was that? And it was like, oh, it was a misunderstanding with the title company. Somebody tried to steal my identity. The weirdest fucking thing ever. The police ain't gonna follow up on that until somebody comes to try to buy your house. But who's going to buy your house next is probably going to be some fucking algorithm and like a financial derivative now owns your home. Like just some fucking thing that exists in the cloud. Some piece of software owns your house. And it ain't never letting go. So now, like, you've got artificial inflation of your housing market based off of a piece of software that just scoops them up with like billionaire capital, because these people know the game. They know the game. They know, they see the world for what it is. Actually, they've probably been taught what the world is, or figured it out on your own. I mean, I'm not gonna make assumptions as far as like, some people believe there's secret societies, blah blah blah. Like, yeah, of course there is. Like there's people that are in the know and like, hey, look, most of the people don't know this shit. Don't tell them this shit. You're gonna cause a fucking mass hysteria, panic, freak out. Elon. That's why he's. I mean, what do you think about Twitter? He knows full well what he's doing. I wish I could meet the man. He's probably the best thing we got going. Bezos is decent too. He's honest. He tells you. He gives you the data, man. He's like, look, man, don't even think about buying a fucking washing machine because you're going to have to leave your home. Okay? And you ain't going to be able to take it with. He tells you, don't buy washing machines. Don't buy TVs. In other words, get ready, all right? Get ready to leave your fucking home because you ain't going to be staying in it for some reason. Whether it gets wrecked by a natural disaster, a great flood, okay? All right? Like, think about it, man. The whole world is contrived. The whole world is contrived. And it's not really about money. It's about resources. It's about carbon. It's about your blood, okay? All right? It's like, that's just like the Amazon returns. You go out in the Midwest. So there's these stores in the Midwest, and oh man, I came up. Like, I bought an 8 terabyte hard drive for $8. So everything in the store is $8. So we're told they're Amazon returns. So apparently Amazon can't be bothered to put a $400 hard drive. I mean, it's this high capacity. I mean, it's a SATA drive to handle. I forget what the bandwidth on the drive is, the read and write speed. But it's a badass hard drive. It's meant for high definition video surveillance. So I scooped this thing up, and nobody else in the store even knows what the fuck it is. Because if I was that store owner, man, I would be kind of piling all that shit up and putting it on offer up and blah, 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 But he's making so much money. He's like, fuck it, man. Throw that shit in there. I ain't even got time to look at that, right? So this guy's getting these Amazon returns. He goes, buys by the pallet full. He drives pretty far to get him. He goes out, like, I mean, yeah, cool. All right, you got truck drivers. Like, I mean, guys putting in the work. So I'm not hating on nobody that hustles. Okay, just to be clear, like I said, I'm a libertarian, man. I'm not fucking. I'm coming for your shit because you've not respected the society that blessed you so much. And instead, and when like you thought you were better than someone else, basically. Fuck that, you're not. You're just like one of us, and you're gonna find out real soon, man, because this whole country's about to fucking implode. Like, you got all the greatest minds in the whole country telling you, like, all the heads of industry saying, hey, man, look, dude, the fucking writing's on the wall. Writing's on the wall. economically speaking, look at the data. But now the problem is most people are either too busy working just to get by, or they can't see all the data. So that's why I'm here to contextualize it. Okay, this is the probabilistic outcome given the parameters of a given construct. Okay, so the construct is that we had Amazon, and it was able to deliver us all these cheap goods already just on Amazon, on that platform alone. And then now like he's got so much money that like when the goods come back, if you don't want your $400 hard drive and you send it back, it just sits in a warehouse on a pallet, and then that pallet gets bought as it fills up with other returns and other, you know, whatever nonsense and cooking items. Or just, I mean, you should see these stores. You want to get deals, man? Go out to the Midwest. Go to Aurora. Go to Aurora, Illinois. Okay, go to Aurora, Illinois, and go to these bargain closeout basements or type deals. All right, and you go in there and they just throw it all in the bin. They don't care what the item is. I got 32 gigabyte of RAM for $8. And I could have hit most of it, like, man, people, I could like hit it under like some other like object or whatever, and then picked up the next day for $6. Oh, so that's how so the business model, right? He gets the Amazon returns. He gets pallets of Amazon returns, and the first day is $8, and then the next day is $6. Then it goes down to $4. Then it goes to $2, to $1, then 50 cents. Okay, and then he takes a day off to do his store. If I did 8, 6, 4, 2, 1, 50 cents. Yes, that's 6 days, and then there's a day off where he brings in all the new merch. And you don't care what it is, man. I mean, you ain't gonna pick up a firearm in there or something like that. But like, yeah, man, like really advanced computer stuff, man. There's laptops in there, like so when you see that, I remember seeing it years ago on these like deals, like, oh, I got this laptop for like $8. That shit's real, man. That shit's real. I promise you, it's real because I've bought it at an actual retail location at this point. Like before, it was like resellers online, and they just had so much merch, and they were like, fuck it, man. Oh, I mean, come on, dude. Come on. So it's a $400 hard drive. So like, I mean, it's like what? $8? Man, I scooped up a lot of stuff like that. I got what else did I get? I go in there. I go on the first day, man. I'm out there, and there's a line of 150 people, like 150 people, waiting out there. Friday morning, 9 o'clock. He does a raffle. He's a really cool guy. I mean, I like the business model. Yeah, good people working for him too. And he was just one of many, man. I mean, there was like 15, 20 of those places within like a 10-mile radius out in Illinois. It's like, what the fuck's going on here, man? Like, this company can't be bothered to put this shit back on the shelf. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. I mean, you're talking at this point like billions of dollars in waste. Like, well, at least $100 million in waste. If you take like those 12 bargain closeout places, and over the course of a year, and the merch they're selling for 8, 6, 4, 2, 1, 50 cents. I mean, you're talking, you know, wasting to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars. And there's no fucking way that's true. There's no way Amazon threw away all that money. So that guy, Jeff, knows something that we don't. He's like, fuck it, man, give it away. Give it away. We can't take it back. There ain't enough people to buy it. 60 million people in your country just disappeared. And we see the data. You know, guys like that can see the data because he's got a bird's eye view. What the fuck just happened to my multi-billion-dollar company and my supply chain and everything? It's all just got wrecked. And like, so my sales just declined 40%. He ain't gonna come out and explicitly say it, but like, you can see it as evidenced by all the Amazon returns. And I work for this other company out in the Midwest too. We exported our topsoil, you know, like in little bags, like in a fertilizer and all that shit. And it's like, man, 80% of that business was like subscriptions. We were filling subscriptions of people that bought dirt, soil, Miracle-Gro products, Scott's products, you know, like on subscription. Every month they get a freaking, you know, bag of dirt. Like, what? It's your summer guard, fall guard, winter guard. Like, come on. I mean, so we're sending this shit to like a black hole, basically. Like, we're just exporting our topsoil. And it's all like subscription. So I'm looking around like at this business model. I'm like, yeah, I can see that it's lucrative, but at the same time, man, this shit's fake as fuck, dude. This shit is fake as fuck. What the hell? So Like, who buys dirt on subscription? I don't know, man. To me, it's more we're exporting our topsoil, and maybe we're doing it in a backhanded way because we don't want, you know, whoever's watching us in orbit to be like, hey, what the fuck are they doing down there with all that shit? You know, like, where's it all going? Or we're exporting it around the world and it's going to a black hole where it can't be utilized effectively. Because, man, I'll tell you right now, if you let another country control your food supply, like, you definitely don't have any understanding of geopolitical strategy, you know, or supply chain. Like, like, I mean, in the 80s, 90s, we would have so much grain in this country, man, we would just go dump it in the middle of the ocean. Keep the price up. Not really. I mean, we're feeding the fish. Fish population growing, then we go get the fish out of the ocean. Okay, so we're exporting the nutrients out of our soil, and we're taking the fertilizer that we have under our ground. It's potassium, it's potash, basically. We take potassium nitrate. We can dissolve it in water and then, like, pump it up and then put it in, like, a reservoir, and then the sun will slowly, you know, like, it'll leave behind, like, a white powder, which is, might as well just be guano, like super fertilizer, okay? Shit'll make your fucking ear of corn grow, like, whoa, man. Make your buds grow big, too, okay? So, basically, we are, by design, we're taking all of the most important resources that we have to support our families, and exporting them, burning them, or dumping them in the ocean. Now, me personally, I wouldn't trade, like, the equivalent of 500 ears of corn for a can of tuna fish. I wouldn't. That seems to be what we're doing, because we ain't eating all that corn. We're dumping it somewhere. We had so much corn that we had to start turning it into fuel. Corn fuel, you know, that's your flex fuel at the gas pump, you know. And then, you know, oh, funny thing about that is you start putting that shit in your lawnmowers and your other cars, man, that shit starts eating away at all the rubber, okay? It dissolves your rubber, all right? So it clogs it up then. It, like, dissolves it a little bit and then it coagulates. It might as well have a fucking blood clot in your lawnmower, but instead it's a corn clot, you know? Use the fucking... I mean, even shit gas would just be better. So that little tube and then your little little carburetor gets you know, clogged up. Your fuel filter gets clogged up, and most people, let's face it, most people they don't have an inkling about that shit. They ain't gonna take it apart, clean it. Like, they're gonna be like, what the fuck happened? And then bring it to Home Depot or something. Like, hey, $40, fuck it, might as well buy a new one. And then you put that $80 one out by the side of the road, you know, $20, we're free. You know, it's like, holy shit, man, there's no fucking way. There's no way that a country of 300 million people, that's why I love the South, man. Like, the people around here pick that shit up and fucking fix it in no time. You know, they're just gonna run a pencil through the fucking rubber tube. A little bit more complicated if it happens to your car. You know, you put that flex fuel shit in your car for a long time, it's gonna start fucking shit up. But you know, most people don't even have an inkling to troubleshoot something like that, and I find that highly troubling. Just based on the sole fact that, like, how the hell are you here in America with this education and fucking you don't have a set of tools to, like, fix all this shit around you? Oh, well, I graduated high school and I got, like, the equivalent of a 1975 bachelor degree, but I have no clue how to fucking siphon gas. I have no clue how fucking that works, you know, like vacuum, like, you know, something at a higher elevation to a lower elevation will continue to pump itself until it's depleted. No fucking clue about that. It's like, wait, how the fuck? How do you not know that? Like, how do you not know that? Like, didn't you ever own a fish tank, at least, maybe, growing up? And, like, you had to clean the fish tank? How'd you get the water out? Oh, you just take a little tube and you got a bucket, and then you, like, you know, put the tube in the tank, and then you put the bucket on the floor. It's probably, like, you know, your tank hopefully is elevated, not on the floor. I mean, and then you just suck through, and then the water comes out automatically. Why? Because once you get the water flowing, you got atmospheric pressure working on the surface area of the top of the water. So you basically got a column of air that goes all the way up to outer space. But a column of air that's about the equivalent of 14. I think one atmosphere is like 14.3 pounds per square inch or some shit like that. Like that's close. 14.3, 14.7. I'm not sure 100%. And it's based on your elevation too. Okay, so basically like that column of air is on top of our heads everywhere, all along, like everywhere you go. There's a 5 mile column of air on the top of your head. That air has weight, and it is, that's what's called atmospheric pressure, and that varies based on elevation, and that's why you have different boiling points of water. So basically, when you want to boil water, you got this kinetic energy of the water molecule, boom, 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 bumping off of each other, but you got 14 pounds of air on it per square inch, and that kinetic energy's got to overcome it before it goes out of steam off and does a phase change and goes off into to the air. Okay, so when you're at a higher elevation, say you're like a mile up in Denver, there's only I don't know what it is, like, 0.8 atmospheres. Okay, so you got like 10 pounds of a column of air on top of that water. So now it don't need as much energy to overcome the that you do at sea level. Okay, so it's easy. So it water boils it, whatever it is, 200 there, or 12 degrees less. So all that degrees measures kinetic energy of the what is it, the translational the translational energy of molecules as they smash against each other. Okay, all right, like, so but then there's other things too, like there's things called like steric interactions, and based on what the molecule is, if it's hydrogen, oxygen, you got a positive dipole, the positive, like it'll have like a surface tension type deal too. Even that's why, like, well, that's what basically, like, when you pull, you can pull water with or across a surface, and it'll kind of want to go like a train and pull it. So that's because of the molecules want to be together because of their electromagneticity. Okay, so you got to overcome that as well, and that's a factor. So if you're that's just going to look. So the water molecules, when you siphon water, you got a fucking 1 atmosphere, put a column of water going pushing down on that, and then you're going to suck through at a lower elevation, and it's going to come up out of the fish tank and then go into the bucket. Okay, because there's 14 pounds of pressure going on there, and then once you get it going, you give it the initial energy, it's going to go through the tube. That's called siphoning. Okay, so if I'm you're 20 years old and you have no conception of how that even fucking works, I'm like, well, wait, didn't you take like any type of classes in high school? Like, what are they fucking teaching you? Like, how do you not know like how siphoning works? Like, it would never occur to that person. Like, if I gave you, say we had a game show, be like, all right, guys, fill these buckets from this fish tank, and like, fucking people scratching their head, like, what do we do? You can only use this tube. Like, siphon it, man. Put the tube in there and then suck some water through. Like, see how many people actually know that. And that, I mean, yeah, you can't explain how that works. Like, all right, man, but at least you know that it does work, and you accept that as part of your reality. Like, if I suck on this tube and the water is higher, the water will continue to flow out of the fish tank so I can clean the motherfucker. I'll just buy an analogy eater. This is the world we live in. Like, my feeling is, like, man, this just should be common knowledge in a country like this. Like, man, like, I mean, damn, man, maybe it's not. And, we've got to start working together then. Like, you can't ostracize people like me just because I've seen too much of the world. Tell me I'm crazy because I talk too fast. That ain't gonna work, man. I'll just write books. Then what? And then your kids will learn them, and then you'll have to eat it. You'll have to eat reality, man. You'll have to see it. There are molecules. You have to accept that. You must believe in them. They'll get you. They'll get you. Trust me. That's why you put face, or that's what, you are like, oh, I want to be all masculine, blah, blah, here, use face cream, blah. Well, you know what? That face cream fucking protects your skin from the wind, man. You got wind and all these little particles, like, in the air, like, just smash, like, you, boom, like on a microscopic level, just smashing into your face all day. Like, yeah, put some fucking lotion on, even some petroleum jelly, man. Do that every day. If you're 20, do it every day, man. You'll look like me when you're X age, okay? So... I was born in the 80s, guys. Alright, so, just saying. The wrinkles are hard because if you're an animated person like me, I like to laugh. So I just see, yeah, okay, like you like to laugh, you like to smile, missing a few teeth. Like you're gonna have some indentation. Like it's gonna be hard pressed to fix that. You want to go get the Botox thing, fine. But you want your skin looking young and healthy, just protect it from the elements. Simple as that. Protect it from the elements, man. You got on a microscopic level, you got a fucking air molecule. Like. I mean, nitrogen's pretty fucking heavy, man. It's in the air. Carbon dioxide, a carbon atom's pretty heavy. It's like boom, right against your face. Like even in like on a microscopic level, a 5-mile-an-hour wind. Never mind if there's like a piece of sand in there. Holy shit, an asteroid just hit your face on it. I mean, man, rub some lotion on the skin. Or else. Okay? Subscribe to the paradigm. If you don't get the movie references, you need to watch more movies. Movies are very important. It's a very important part of our society. It helps build it helps build a construct of thought. And then I can make references to you, and I don't have to explain all this shit. I can just make a quote a movie, and then boom, you'll understand it. Like, all right, I get it now. And hopefully we've seen the same. And that's why art is really important, okay? That's why art's very important, all right? Support your artists. Don't be fucking, you want to stream East to fucking MMA fight. Like, all right, man, like, okay. But, like, fucking, don't be streaming fucking, go to Tubi, there's a platform that already monetizes it. Like, support that shit. Watch the fucking ad. You probably won't buy whatever they're paying, okay? So just, please, don't go somewhere that don't have no ad-based support platform, okay? Like somebody's going to be making money off this content. Hopefully it's the artist. Sometimes the artist's long gone. And that's like I said in other episodes, for all we know, like, I mean, where the fuck's Matthew McConaughey? Where are all these people? I ain't never, I've been in Hawaii, like, I was going to see all these fucking, like, people just driving around in Lamborghinis or fucking Maybachs and all this other shit. And I'm like, where the fuck are these people? I went to Los Angeles, thought I was going to see the same thing. I'm like, man, I want to see pictures of this guy every day. That's why they had the paparazzi, okay? They had the paparazzi. That's why they had the Inquirer. Because people were inquiring, are these people real? What year are we really in, that's why it's nice when you see this guy on Broadway, Like you see, hey, man, Hugh Hefner's on Broadway singing, man. It's sold out. All right. Or not Hugh Hefner. Fucking Logan, man. Like, that guy. Well, Hugh Hefner too, but still, Showgirls. Oh man, yeah. Yeah, I like that guy. I like Hugh. I like Logan. Great. You watch Les Mis, man. Watch Les Mis, like he's singing, him and Russ. Yeah. But going back to the Amazon returns, man. Like just the weirdest shit too was coming through. Like out in the Midwest, man. Like I mean, like so much like scuba diving gear. Like why is this shit here, man? Like, because this is under the assumption that it's a localized, localized kind of return thing. So you just get the Amazon returns from the Midwest because they all go to like some fulfillment center. They go back to the fulfillment center where the fuck UPS drops them off at or whatever. And so you figure to be localized. Like what the fuck is so many people out in the Midwest buying snorkeling gear for? And electric motors with fans on them. Like what's that all about? Like masks, snorkels, scuba, flippers, boats, canoe stuff. Like I mean, I saw so many fans, man, like just fans. Like what, what's that about? Somebody expecting a flood? Right? Somebody expecting a flood? Yeah, I mean, catastrophic. I believe a lot of stuff in the Bible, man. Like there's like you got people in there telling you shit, all right, and it's kind of coded, but like you see reciprocal trends, patternized shit. Basically, And now, like, if you analyze the world, like that's what I say. It's a probabilistic outcome given the parameters of a given construct. Like in 1996. Oh, fuck. There you go. 96. You already know anyway. Come on. Like, stop playing. Right? Like in 96, I was in Illinois, Chicagoland area, and we had this flood that came out of nowhere. I mean, it didn't even fucking rain, man. Like, it barely rained, and suddenly there's like 4 feet of water in the street. Like, we're all out there in our canoes, man. I promise you, man. You thought it'd be. And so then there was all this flash flood warning. Flash flood. Like, what the fuck is a flash flood? Like, I get flash flood out in, when I think that, I think, like, New Mexico or something, then you're in the bottom of low elevation, and you're in a really dry area that used to have water, so when it does, like, rain, somehow all that rain gets to one location really quick, and then goes down a quick chute, and then, but you know, in the Midwest, man, it's flat, okay? It's flat. Flat. So, we're gonna flash floods on these 4 feet of water in the ground, or on the street. We're all walking through there, man. We walk through fields, or we, like, you know, jump through the fields, through the water. I remember. I mean, it was a lot of fun as a adolescent. So it was a lot of fun, and it was so weird, man. We would go through the fields, and on the top of every piece of, like, wild grass we had, there'd be, like, oh man, there'd be like 20 bugs, man, like different, like, holy shit, what the fuck just happened, man? Like, on every little blade of grass there was like 20 bugs of every type of species, man. And then we had to kind of walk through it, and they got on us, but like, they were escaping the flood. And same shit'll happen to us, man. Same shit's gonna happen to us if we don't start paying attention to our history. Don't start paying attention to what people in our society are telling us, okay? We have to pay attention to this stuff. It's very important. It's very important. And we need to figure out where we're going to be safe. Now, the best way to figure out where we're going to be safe is to follow the money. Okay? So, like, look at the tax records, or the county records, like property transactions. Look where all the trucks are going, bringing the building materials. Like right now, Pacific Northwest, like all that place is on fire. Basically that's gonna be the farmland. Okay, so all that area in the Pacific Northwest, out there, all right, like, there's a reason why they're burning that shit down. It's not like some arsonist went out there, and I mean, they're just burning it down on purpose, because it's going to make that soil very fertile, and that's where, like, all the refugees are going to wind up. Follow too, like what are the Japanese doing? You know, they're already on an island with mountains. Like, they already know something too. Like, their society's been, I mean, they're ancient, you know, they've got this same knowledge, all right? Like, you'll see the same knowledge, you know, great floods, shit coming from outer space, you know, like, you're taught to think that you're crazy in this country for even entertaining that, but it's, like, all over the History Channel. Like, I mean, you got all the smartest minds in the country saying, hey, this shit's blaring you in the face, man, basically. You know, now I'm like, you know, I ain't exactly your average Joe, but I mean, goddamn, like, might as well be Joe. I pieced this together largely on my own, through my own life experience and just years and years of subtle data, and I started asking questions and thinking about shit, and weird shit started happening to me. I'm gonna go into that, you know, like, you know, all those targeted individuals, man, I feel you, alright? I feel you guys. Like, I get it. I get it. I get it, okay? It's alright. It's true, okay? It's true. You're being targeted for some reason. Probably because of the way you think, or what you know, or you have something they want, okay? And by they, I mean people that live in fucking orbit. You ever have a telescope? I am not going to argue fucking aliens with somebody who's never owned a telescope, first of all. Nope. Sorry, dude, you don't even got eyes, bro. Like, what the fuck? Like, that's like a blind man telling you fucking, like trees aren't fucking, the leaves aren't green. He ain't never seen nothing in his life, and you tell me that shit, I see green, man. Well, I can prove that wavelength comes off that fucking chlorophyll molecule when the photon hits it and makes that electron jump into orbital and it emits it at the same fucking corresponding wavelength. And it absorbs it and then it emits it. And then my freaking rods or cones in my eyeballs just take it and transmit it through neurotransmitters into my brain and I perceive it as green. Just because you perceive it as nothing. Tell me that shit ain't green. Can't even see, motherfucker. Kiss my ass. So, yeah, if you ain't never owned a telescope, man, tell me shit. Alright? Look at the fucking moon with your own bare naked eye, man. Don't tell me you see all those craters there. So somehow that thing that's like, well, I don't know how many moons can fit in an Earth, but somehow that thing's been like just destroyed and dismantled by asteroids. Its whole existence in Earth, like, is it just went come on, man, like unscathed? Bullshit. Look at some of them craters the size of fucking like Texas on there, man. Like, where are those craters here on Earth? Like, that little thing got hit, like, so obviously there's something going on there, right? Like, I mean, hey, it looks like the moon's been at war with something for a minute. Just saying, by its topological data, it looks like there's been somebody hurdling shit at that for a long time. So, there's a doggo. Yeah, and I love dogs, man. Yeah. Love dogs. They don't like dogs. Okay, they don't like dogs. All those demons I'm talking about, man, get a fucking dog. Right? You want to ward off demons? Yeah, keep a dog. Those demons do not like dogs. All right, and I mean, a dog will. I mean, if you die, man, that dog's going to eat you and move on. Like, okay, but at the same time, the dog was designed to follow us and find us in order to, you know, keep us in a tree. Like, the dog's the perfect tool to hunt down a human, man, especially a human wearing shoes. That dog's going to find you all day long, all right? So it's a very effective tool for finding humans. And then we kind of like, and originally they were wolves, all right? So it was like, all right, humans. Yeah, this is talking about the war. We've been at war for a long time. This is an ancient war. Like, I don't care. You want to think that we came from some primordial soup out of the ocean. We crawled our way out. And however you view the world, the one thing you have to accept is we're here today and we have this data around us. You cannot deny data. Okay, so I don't deny data. And then you have to entertain other questions and possibilities. Just because you got a larger group of morons, that don't mean that makes it the truth. Okay. Because I'm equal to, like, you know, 2 million morons, and so is this guy and that guy and that guy, because, like, we can prove this shit through experimentation. And then we got, like, 100,000 people that will, like, look at our experiment and then understand it, right? So, only because we're 100,005, that don't make your million correct, all right? And you ain't going to force it down our throats. That's what they try doing. They try to get us to fight each other first, so we just stay distracted, and then reward certain parts of our population with certain things, make it easy for you, so like you don't ever ask no questions and you don't cause no problems with the up structure. So the up structure and the down structure, right? Like, so you got. There's an external force living in orbit. How's that? You want? I mean, nobody would believe I'm crazy saying that. And in fact, most people I say to, they go with it, man. A lot of people believe A, we're not alone in the universe. B, there is a God. Okay, so, or at least there is a omnipotent being watching us and controlling shit. Can we at least agree on that? Can we agree on that? That there's an omnipotent being that watches us and controls stuff. Okay? Like there's our foundation. Now, maybe there's more than one omnipotent. I mean, it stands to reason if there's one omnipotent being watching us, there could be another, right? Yes. How can you have one? See, this is where you start asking these questions to reasonable people, and then they start, their brain gets all fucked up. You know, here, man, take this shroom and then listen to me. Smoke this weed and then listen to me. All right, shut down those parts of your brain that fucking says, hey, man, blah, 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 that guy's a liar. Let's burn him at the stake. Like, fucking hey, man. Just trying to tell you what's obvious. Just because your brain can't handle it, well, you get belligerent somehow? Like, what the fuck, man? Hell fucking no, man. Because I'm done laying down my life for this shit. Point blank. Why the fuck am I out here suffering? That don't make no sense to me. I did everything right my whole life, man. I did everything right. Everything right. Every job I ever had, just get bullied. You know, won't fight back. Get bullied. Every job I had, I basically had to quit. Like, they had to hire some shitbird on there. And the first day, this motherfucker tries me, man. Like, there's a guy coming in, I'm working in a warehouse job, man. This guy comes in and just, like, decides he's going to take the boxes on the pallet, the cases on the pallet, and throw them on the floor. And I like, because I turned my back. And then I come back, I'm like, why would you throw the case on the floor like that, man? He tried to tell me I did it. He tried to tell me I threw the cases on the floor. What? I said, man, you're going to say shit like that. Don't even fucking talk to me, dude. I quit the next day. Didn't come back. There you go. Hire a guy like that again. Go ahead. You lose me. I know I'm your best employee. I'll work these hands to the bone. I do good work cheap. All right? I do good work cheap. I respect everybody. Make sure everybody's all right. You're going to send a guy in like that, hire a guy like that, and you're going to come at me sideways like that? Hell no, I ain't even working there. Don't even give a shit, man. Fuck your job. Why'd you leave? Why'd you hire that guy? Why don't you go ask him? And then that guy stays on the payroll for another 2 months and continues to terrorize the whole business operation. It's like, are you kidding me, man? Are you kidding me? Like, how does a guy like that even get the job in the first place through the interview? Oh, it's because his uncle worked there, you know? Yeah. Some family member wants to, like, bring in some scumbag. Or he's like, that scumbag hypnotizes the family member to get him a job because he already mind controls that guy. And he thought he was going to try me and mind control me by trying to convince me that I was fucking crazy, don't perceive reality right, like, because I threw the boxes on the floor. Man, I've been working here for months, dude. Like, I ain't never done shit like that. Like, because I know my team would be like, what the fuck you doing, Dan? What are you throwing boxes on the floor for? Because this guy was some, like, rough, tough fucking bully guy. Like, nobody wanted to, like, fucking say nothing. I say something, I'll stick up for the little guy every time, man. I'll stick up against any bullying. I fucking hate bullying. I've been bullied my whole life, man, and I'm done with it. I'm done. It's that part where, you know, McFly's dad, like, made the fist. And he hits Biff, you know? Come on. Cut this shit, man. Cut this shit. We gotta work together and stick to the program, okay? And the program is that our society just underwent through these years of COVID, which I couldn't get it personally. Like, I tried, man. I tried to get COVID, guys. I really tried. I mean, I smoked so many cigarette butts out of Sam's Club's ashtray. Like, I just couldn't catch it. You know, like, am I human or what? Like, I don't fucking know anymore. But I just couldn't catch it. What the fuck, man? Yeah, I know it's gross, but hey, I'm a scientist, man. I said, this shit's bullshit. Something don't smell right about this. Like, all right, we got COVID. You guys are reporting all these deaths. The cemetery business ought to be booming, man. Like, people are dying to get in there. Like, what's the just dying to get in. I mean, come on, dude. There should have been a fucking like 4 services a day. What you call the crematorium business, there should have been mobile FEMA crematoriums with how many deaths they reported. Yeah, man. And then with the funeral home too. Funeral home got undertakers. Yeah, that's what they call those guys, undertakers. Man, the undertaking business should have been like booming too. There should have been like emergency undertakers, like, so, but we didn't see none of that. Where all them fucking people go, man? Where them people go? You know, sit around like, oh, well, they paid me to sit on my ass for 2 years, and I just sat at home and lived modestly and collected 40 grand, and I got my bailout. I ain't gonna say shit about all these. And traffic's good. Traffic's a breeze now. Like, whew, why would I ever question 60 million people being disappeared right in front of my own fucking face when they basically made life so good for me to not ask that fucking question? Hey, happened to my family. They didn't ask no questions. Fucking little brother collected $900 a week. Did it for quite a while too, man. $1,000 a week. My little brother, like, what? all of a sudden, you got all this money. So, what we can assume is that there was people in the know about what was going on, and they tried to help us out. That's my assumption about that whole thing. I mean, now they try to still play us on like this side of the aisle, that side of the aisle. What did you know? But all that shit's bullshit, man. It's a fake paradigm to make us think one way or the other. Like you only got two choices. But like at least play 3 card, Monty. Like which one's the ace? Or like where's the bean under the cup or whatever the fuck. Like 3 cups, not 2 cups. Like who plays with only 2 cups? Like that's just kind of, you got a 50-50 chance of being right. And what does that mean? We're gonna be fucking at a civil war? Like what? Like, because at this point, it's like, and they make us believe that, like, we're so far apart. But, man, I bet you right now, if I sat down, you're the leader of the left with the leader of the right, they'd probably agree on a lot of stuff, man. Like, starting with, like, well, just ask them questions. Why don't we get free education in this country, man? Like, why do I got to pay $80,000 a year to go to a fucking school? Well, that makes no sense to me. Well, the Europeans have been doing it for, like, 30 years for free. Like, how... Give me an explanation that, like, fits. Aside from, we're fucked up. Like, come on. We're just fucked up that way. We're a gangster country. We're just fucked up that way. Give me an explanation that actually fits. Because I ain't believing those bunch of 70-year-old fucking Republicans are out there fucking with pitchforks fucking against the young saying, you can't have education. Bullshit, man. Bullshit. I mean, what the fuck? You sit Trump and Bernie down, man, them men are going to agree on 90% of things about this country. We are not that far fucking apart, okay? So, we've got all these ideas that should be obvious, but then they're like, we're supposed to believe they're just, politicized. They're politicized to the point, that's why nothing gets done. That's all bullshit. I'll tell you right now, that's all fucking bullshit. All right? All bullshit. Half them people, like, might as well be zombies, okay? They're the walking fucking dead, our government. And now it's a runaway freight train. And we need people that have an inkling, that got a pair of balls to, like, stand up and be like, man, I see this shit for what it is. I'm going to start making friends, guys. Go out and make friends, okay? Like, actual people. Go shake their goddamn hand. Have a barbecue, whatever. Like, do shit like that. Play live music, okay? Play live, loud music in your backyard, okay? And put up a sign in the front of your, in the front lawn and say, block party, everybody's welcome. $5 a cup. Get a couple kegs. Be like, hey, man. Like, there's nothing wrong with doing that, okay? That's what we used to do all the time in this country, all right? There's nothing wrong with doing that. I encourage you to do it. Make friends with your neighbors. Because when the shit hits the fucking fan, man, like, the last thing you want is to not have any goddamn friends. Alright? And people are just going to come take your shit. They're not going to give a fuck about you. And, try to take care of yourself, man. Like, you got to admit, man, because, like, I'll tell you right now, man, like, we need to be hiking. Like, say we got to hike 10 miles a day. You can't cut it. I ain't stopping. No. Like, and if I ain't carrying you on my back either. So, like, you ain't gonna do some mind control hoopty-doopty fucking bullshit with me, dude. Like, we're just gonna cut your fucking head off, man. Like, what are you thinking? Let me tell you something. Fuck that, man. That shit's real. It fucks with people's heads. You got, like, this one class of individuals that they try to control everything with their little hypno shit. I mean, you see it in the children's toys. You see that shit in the children's toys. I used to just say, man, like... It's hypno-pedo shit. So, I mean, think about this. Like, so think about like they just like I haven't really thought about how it's all going to happen as far as like dominoes. But one thing for sure is that if the power goes out, you ain't gonna have no water. So boom, say the power goes out in your community for longer than a week, just a week. That's how they test it. You get a hurricane. Let's see what these people do to each other when a hurricane rolls through and they don't got no fucking fresh water or electricity. You'll be, yeah, man. Like, if you keep 1 week's worth of food in your home, all right, you're gonna get hungry soon. You ain't got no water. You might have a couple puddles to go drink from a lake. I'll drink it out of the lake. I don't give a shit. I mean, I don't care. Get a life straw. I got filters. But like, you don't want to be without friends. Because if that shit happens, man, the power goes out longer than like 8 or 9 days. People will start caravanning the fuck out. Like if you're in like what good is your $500,000 home and you've got like 0.2 acres of like farmable land and you don't even have a well. You know, you've got no well, you've got no generator, you have no solar panels, you have no batteries. How are you gonna get that well to go, man? I mean, fuck, sometimes the well's 220, you know? You even know what 220 is? You know what 110 is? You don't even know how electricity works? Batteries, you know? A battery array powered by solar, you know? And then you can pump that water out of that well. Or you're going to dig a well by hand. You can do that too. It's going to be quite a caloric expenditure. So what, you got some slaves now? You gonna go back to that? You'll run out of bullets. Because I'll just take the bullet, man. For a second you put a gun at me and telling me to dig. Fuck you. Goodbye. I ain't sitting here being your slave. Or I'll figure out a way to... Well, if this is just me, I'd probably say just shoot me. But if there was a group of people that some externality was getting down on, I would play the game till he let his guard down and I'd fucking get him for you guys, alright? So that's why I'm... For me, I don't care too much about myself no more, but I care about everybody else. That's why I'm making this video, okay? Or that's why I run the show. I mean, you know, so yeah, when shit hits the fan, or when, because I see it coming. I can't pinpoint a date. I'm sure if we like actually analyze it, like, well, going back to the AI system and how the world is contrived, it would be done in like, kind of like spot fashion, like you would spot mop, and we've already been like coagulated in areas. So like, for example, a year ago, if I was telling you like 60 million people disappeared and you were in Tampa, you would believe it. Now, since like you've got all your migrants came back, like you got people migrated down here, and things are starting to pick up economically. People can go out and see, oh man, I'm waiting in fucking traffic. There's no way, like everybody's back out. And it's like, no, actually, you had an influx of 1 million people to your state. And these 1 million people left all the other states where they're like, where the fuck happened to all the jobs and the people? Yeah, so they said, they heard there's jobs and cheap housing, or you get a lot more house for your dollar in Florida. I'm gonna go there. And you see it, like, because I'll tell you right now, in the Midwest, like, man, if you even just drive along 75 in Florida, man, like, we got all new on-ramps everywhere. All new on-ramps, so obviously the government and Illinois didn't get shit. But they got the same amount of TARP funds and all the bailout money and fucking, like, hey, man, here's the money. But they didn't build no infrastructure there. And that's why I was talking to you about, like, Illinois. Like, Illinois looks the same as it did in 1990. It's like exactly the same. The only thing different is there's a bunch of, like, they call it a police state and everything, but that's just basically a camera. They got a camera at every intersection that if you blow the red light, which I do, I'm going to work and the light's red and it's 5 in the morning, man, or 4:45, and I'm gonna be late to work by a minute, or not be, like, just because I'm like, well, hold on a second, man, I'm running that red light. There's no reason for that light to be red, like, and it sits there. And, like, what? Fuck that, man. I'm going to run that light, dude. I'm going to make my left turn. It's a, left turn arrow, a red arrow for a left turn. My light's green, and then, like, so I got to wait a whole cycle. And I'll sit there, and then next thing you know, I'm sitting there, and then here comes a fucking train. Like, oh, great. Now I'm like, instead of waiting for, so I just blow it. Fuck that, man. It's nobody's around. Yeah, they sent a ticket in the mail, but it went to, like, an old address, like, oh, well, fuck that. I got no license, no registration, man. Okay? I don't subscribe to whatever fucking paradigm you think you exist in, alright? I don't subscribe to that, because it's bullshit. So you want to send a ticket to some address, and then I don't get my day in court, or then you issue a warrant, I'm going to show up for court. Oh, you better believe it. You better believe I'm going to demand a jury trial for that ticket. Absolutely. And I'm going to go pro se. Okay? I'm going to go pro se. And you're going to drop that ticket pretty fucking quick. You're like, holy shit, man. You're going to haul in 13 people to argue fucking this? And then you got to listen to a guy like me talk about how this is bullshit anyway. Well, how come since the county didn't want to invest in an AI system for this traffic light, I have to waste... so actually, here's a class action lawsuit now. For every fucking red light and every second you have to wait when there's nobody else. So when the light's red for you... like that light should see your car coming and then turn green for you. We have the technology. We've had it for a long time, okay? That light, I shouldn't have to waste my brakes. I shouldn't have to waste my gas nor my time. So the way I see it, the county owes me $2.40. Hey, $2.40 for wasting my time, gas, and brakes for per week that I had to stop at that red light every morning at 4:45 a.m. on the way to work. And I'll sit there and, you know what, as soon as I get my jury trial and I present that information and the jury's like, yeah, man, that guy's right, not guilty. Boom, I just set a legal precedent. And now you've got freaking all the lawyers doing class action lawsuits for everybody all across the country who ever had to wait at a red light alone and not had the light change because they didn't want to invest in a AI system that already existed. Simple as that, man. Yeah, set some, you know, when your court case is going to set some weird fucking legal precedent, man, they'll let you go. Trust me. They'll let you go every time. They're like, oh, hell no. The judge will be like, hell no, man, if I do that, and the next thing you know, all these people coming out of the woodwork. And because the lawyers will come out and be like, yeah, you set this precedent, man, and we're going to do a class action. Until it goes to the appellate. Goes to the appellate court, you know, and maybe they shut it down, then you got it. But in the meantime, you got a small window. Ah, man, hey, check it out. We've got, you know, whatever, supposedly 1.2 million people in fucking Hillsborough County, right? Like, so, yeah, so all these people, we represent all these people, and we're going to give them their 2-cent return, or, you know, whatever they got for having to wait at this red light for all the gas they wasted, sitting there at a light that's red, and there's nobody else at the intersection. Like, come on. I blow those lights. I don't care. I'm not going to sit there at a red light and treat it like a stop sign. You know, I don't blow it like room right through, man. I stop. You know, like treat it like a stop sign. And that should be reasonable. To any reasonable human being at 4:45 a.m. when you got a red arrow for a left turn, like that's reasonable. Treat it like a stop sign. You want to argue that point? I'll argue it in court in front of 13 jurors and a judge. And I'll win. You know what? Let me tell you something. That's all I gotta say. I just need one. Okay? Not guilty. Let me tell you. I just need one. That ain't enough for you guys. I can't say too much more. I'm at 2 hours, man. Show's over. Dan sits down. Like, subscribe, ask questions about your world. Watch out for the hypno freaks. Don't take no shit from them. Watch out for the phrases. Somebody talking to you using that same phrase over and over again and they're trying you. Okay? That shit's real. Remember, we battle on behalf of many. Okay? We have to reject our divisions and create a new society. It's already being done. Follow the money. Look at where these people are going. Look at where the equipment's going, the machinery, the money, the building materials. They're all going to certain parts of the country. Pay attention to where it's going. It's going to be expensive to go live there, like on paper. And just get fucking ready, okay? Get ready. Shit is real. And you are not going to have a good time. Alright. Dan sits down. Thank you. I love you. All of you.